For too long, Nairobi has been a city of immense promise, trapped by chronic dysfunction. A city of extraordinary potential, suffocated by disorder, delayed by indecision, undermined by poor planning, and held hostage by interests that profit from chaos. This city that should be the pride of Africa has too often been forced to settle for standards that are frankly unacceptable. And let us be honest, this did not happen overnight. It happened because for many years, too many leaders chose comfort over courage. Too many people in positions of responsibility looked away when hard decisions were required. Too many tolerated mediocrity. Too many postponed action. Too many chose political convenience over public good. And the result is what we see around us. A capital city where flooding still kills our people. A capital city where garbage too often defines our neighborhoods. A capital city where roads are congested, drainage is broken, sewage is overstretched, planning is weak, and basic order is too often absent. A capital city where too many residents still live without dignity in the very city whose labor, talent, and expertise sustain our national economy. This, honorable members, cannot continue. Why? Because Nairobi is too important to Kenya to be governed casually. It is too central to our national prosperity to be left to drift. It is too consequential to our international standing to be allowed to decay under the weight of indecision and excuses. Today, honorable members, Nairobi contributes 27.5% of Kenya's economy, generating over 4.1 trillion Kenya shillings annually. It hosts the only United Nations headquarters in the Global South. It is home to diplomatic missions, multinational firms, regional institutions, innovators, entrepreneurs, workers, traders, and millions of Kenyans who come here every day in pursuit of opportunity. Nairobi is not merely a city. It is a national asset. And if we are serious about Kenya's future, then we must be serious about Nairobi. United Nations headquarters in the Global South. It is home to diplomatic missions, multinational firms, regional institutions, innovators, entrepreneurs, workers, traders, and millions of Kenyans who come here every day in pursuit of opportunity. Nairobi is not merely a city. It is a national asset. And if we are serious about Kenya's future, then we must be serious about Nairobi. That is why the cooperation agreement signed between the national government and the Nairobi City County government on the 17th of February 2026, this agreement. It demonstrates your commitment to addressing the challenges that our great city faces. It is a deliberate act of national correction. It is an acknowledgement that the problems of Nairobi have grown too large, too urgent, and too consequential to be handled through fragmentation, tough wars, bureaucratic hesitation, or business as usual governance. We have therefore made a clear decision. The era of drift must end, and the era of coordinated execution must begin. And, honorable members, we can only succeed together. Because what Nairobi needs now is not another round of speeches. It is not another cycle of blame. It is not another season of complaints. Nairobi needs disciplined leadership. Nairobi needs order. Nairobi needs execution. Nairobi needs results. And that is exactly what we intend to deliver together. I have listened carefully to what Kenyans say about our city. I have heard their frustration. I have heard their disappointment. I have heard their anger sometimes. And I have heard that residents say, what businesses say, what visitors say, what investors say, and what Kenyans in the diaspora say when they compare Nairobi with other cities across Africa and beyond. And the truth is this: many of them are right. They are right to ask why our capital still struggles with basic urban order. They are right to ask why growth has not been matched by planning. They are right to ask why this city, with all its importance, has so long looked and functioned below its status. They are right. They are right to demand better. From fewer than 300,000 people in 1960, Nairobi has grown into a city of close to 5 million residents, swelling even further during the day. But this growth has not been matched by the infrastructure, the systems, planning discipline, and service delivery that a modern metropolis require. Your governor here keeps reminding me discussions he's had with other mayors and county governors on the kind of resources they deploy for residents to get what is rightfully required of a modern city. More than 60% of residents live in this city of ours in informal settlements. The honorable members seated here will bear me witness. Every member here, majority of every member here, has a slum in their ward. Some of the wards are slums 100%. Access to piped water remains inadequate and unreliable. Sanitation and sewage systems remains under severe strain. Mobility is constrained by congestion and insufficient transport infrastructure. Environmental degradation and encroachment have made flooding more destructive. Spatial inequality, unemployment, and exclusion continue to fuel insecurity and vulnerability in parts of our city. I remember when I visited Mathare, Mabatini to be specific, where this member represents. I didn't sleep that night, I must admit, seeing what I saw in Mabatini. And it is the reason why today we are building a modern school in Mabatini. These are not isolated problems. These are symptoms of a city that has for too long been managed reactively instead of strategically. And we must also say this without fear. There are people who benefit from this dysfunction. Members, there are cartels who profit from disorder. There are interests that thrive in illegal connections, illegal dumping, illegal occupation, illegal construction, and broken systems. I have said it before. I said it the other day that we must, as a leadership, confront cartels and brokers and those who wish to benefit unjustly from the people of Kenya. You remember, honorable members, an occasion where I said, mambo ni matatu. It was about the sugar cartels. Today, you can ask the people in Western Kenya, sugar cane that used to be paid in 6 to 1 year, they are now paid every week. Workers working in sugar companies that used to be paid by government, they are now paid by factories every month. And we are well on course to being not just a sugar sufficient country, we will be a sugar exporting country in the next 2 to 3 years. That is what confronting cartels gives us. We have confronted the fertilizer cartels, including those who sold stones to us as fertilizer. They are no longer in office. We have confronted the coffee cartels that made it impossible for farmers to earn any decent return for their coffee. Just imagine one person was a farmer, had a license as a miller, had a license as a broker, and was also participating in buying coffee at the coffee exchange. One person. Today, when we broke the cartels, the price of coffee has moved from 50 shillings to head on the fuel cartels. Members, we must take the cartels in the city of Nairobi head on. Whoever they are, however powerful they may be, it is your responsibility, that of the county government, and you have the national government support to deal with it. We all know there are those who make money from weak enforcement, poor coordination, and institutional paralysis. There are those who shout the loudest against reform, precisely because they benefit most from failure. We know them. You know them. And let me be very clear today. Under this administration, the era of appeasing cartels at the expense of the public interest must come to an end. Because leadership is not about protecting comfortable arrangements for a few people. Leadership is about delivering justice, dignity, order, and opportunity for the majority. That is what leadership is. And that means some hard decisions will have to be made. If roads must be expanded, they will be expanded. If enforcement must be, encroachments must be removed, they will be removed. If drainage channels must be cleared, they will be cleared. If illegal structures must come down, they will come down. And if systems must be reorganized to restore order, they will be reorganized. We, honorable members, must stop doing anything otherwise. We cannot demand world-class infrastructure while defending lawlessness. We cannot cry about floods and then resist drainage works. We cannot complain about congestion and then oppose road expansion. We cannot demand cleanliness while protecting illegal dumping. We cannot ask for order while resisting every intervention required to create it. Progress, friends, has a cost. Reforms has a cost. Order has a cost. But you know what? Disorder also has a cost. Keeping to the status quo has a cost. But the good news is the cost of reform, the cost of order, the cost of change is always lower than that of indecision or status quo. So let's make our choice. And for us who are seated in this auditorium, I'm speaking to you as president and as a friend. If we are not prepared to bear the temporary inconvenience of fixing this city, then we must stop pretending that we are serious about changing it. Sindio, marafiki? Yes. For your information, State House has received notice from the multi-agency team reclaiming riparian land that part of the State House boundary, the wall along Kirichwa Kubwa River, falls within the riparian reserve, and it must come down. Yes, it must come down. They have told me at least 15 meters from the high mark. And I promise you that wall will come down. Honorable members, the great cities of the world did not become great by accident. They became great because leaders like the ones seated in this assembly chose discipline over disorder, long-term planning over short-term politics, and public interest over private convenience. A serious city guarantees mobility. It guarantees water, sanitation, safety. A serious city plans where people live, how they move, how they trade, and how infrastructure supports growth. A serious city protects green spaces, manages waste properly, and creates a dignified urban environment in which enterprise and opportunity can thrive. That is the standard we must now impose upon ourselves. And it is why this cooperation agreement matters. It is not about transferring functions. I want to tell you this. This is not another NMS. It is not about weakening devolution. It is not about confusion of mandates. It is about ending fragmentation and restoring coordinated delivery in the one city where failure carries national consequence. Yes, the failure of this city is not just about Nairobi. It carries a national consequence. It matters to Kenya. This framework is fully anchored in the Constitution and the law. Article 6.2, as was read to us by the Speaker, is clear that two levels of government are distinct yet interdependent and must conduct their relations through consultation and cooperation. Article 189 requires both levels of government to work together and provide for structured collaboration. The Urban Areas and Cities Act recognizes the special status of the capital city. The Intergovernmental Relations Act provides for joint committees and intergovernmental coordination between the city of Nairobi and the national government. And under this cooperation agreement, formalized on the 27th of February 2026, this year, during the inaugural Joint Steering Committee, we now have structured implementation platform backed by an initial Kenya shillings 80 billion to drive feasible and measurable transformation in the city of Nairobi. Honorable members, we are delivering a safer city through the installation of 50,000 street lighting points, new ones. We are agreeing with the city government of Nairobi, and I believe that the honorable members in this assembly will participate in making sure that the right areas are served. We will be including another 40,000 existing lights, which today don't work, and the installation of another 10,000 new solar and smart street lighting. So eventually, we will be looking at 100,000 lighting points in the city of Nairobi. Fabrication is already underway. Installation begins this month, April. By end of May, Nairobi will begin to see feasible improvements across key corridors and neighborhoods. And within 6 months, this city will be markedly brighter, safer, and more secure. I am saying this to the representatives of the people of Nairobi so that you can hold us to account. We are also extending safe electricity through last-mile connectivity in informal settlements, beginning this month with Hospital Ward, and moving into Kibra, Korogosho, Mathare, and Kamukunji within the next 90 days. Today, while I was going to my office, when I opened my phone, I saw a message from the member of the County Assembly of Hospital Ward. My good friend Mark there. And in that message, he was confirming that he has seen the steps being made towards actualizing. Mark is here, right? We are expanding water supply through strategic interventions. And before I mention that, I have been to many parts of the city with some of you guys. And we know how a neighborhood whose lights have been switched off, we know how it looks. In the heart of the city, to have a neighborhood that has no light is an indictment on us as leaders. That is what we seek to correct. On matters water, I have said, including Ngedu Kigiri Waterworks, we are changing so that we can add 50,000 cubic meters of daily water supply. The Gigiri Shauri-Moyo evacuation corridor is also being advanced to stabilize supply in high demand zones.